Okay, today we're going to talk about the number one mistake people make when programming for strongmen. Now, this gets back to one general principle, and that's called progressive overload. While people talk about this a lot, what it actually means is very simple and often misconstrued. And what it is you need to do more in the next week than you're doing in the week prior. You need to be doing the exact same movements, and you need to monitor those loads and progress them very carefully. Now, you'll see oftentimes, particularly on events day, one day someone will do farmers, the next week they do frame, the next week they'll do uh, different farmers. They'll do a suitcase carry. Even if you're using something like different logs, small changes in your movements are going to change the stimulus and stop you from actually being able to monitor how much you're pushing forward. Now, the challenge that this creates is you need to increase your loads 2 to 5% every week for someone who's experienced with strength training. Less than that, and you're really not improving much at all. And more than that, and you're increasing your injury risk. You can imagine someone who's doing a log press, and they're doing the log press at 150 kilos. Then the next week they change to a different log. Say it's slightly different, slightly longer. They might even progress quite well and go to 152 kilos, all right? Sticking within that 2 to 5% improvement, 152 and a half, 155. They go to press that log up. It's a little bit unstable left to right. It dips a little bit on their right side. And all of a sudden, on your right arm, you've increased the load 20% over the week before. Oftentimes this happens. Someone goes and they look at their technique and go, maybe my right shoulder wasn't activating well, or my timing, or my dip, or my this. But it's as simple as you need to slowly progress what you're doing to be able to first adapt to the load, and second, be able to get stronger over time. The added obvious benefit to this is you're actually going to know if you're getting stronger over time. Now, you can't progress into eons. If you did, I wouldn't have a job, neither would any other strength coach in the world. So you have to take a chunk of time. It depends on the person and depends how hard you're pushing. Oftentimes this falls between 5 and 6 weeks for people that I work with. It can be stretched out to 8 weeks at a time. After that, you need to deload. Then when you look at your next block, the next block needs to be slightly different movements, but similar enough that you're still getting the same stimulus. If you change it too much, your neuromuscular control is not going to be the same. So for example, you could go from a log press to an incline log press, or to an incline barbell press. But if you go from a log press to a bench press, you're simply going to spend the next block learning how to do a bench press rather than actually getting stronger, right? Now, obviously what we're managing primarily when it comes to strength training is your sympathetic drive. And if you have that sympathetic stimulus over and over and over and over, and you're hammering the same thing for eternity, you are simply not going to progress after a certain stage. It's the law of diminishing returns. You'll make great progress 4 to 6 weeks, 6 weeks onwards, you're going to make very little progress. You're going to get stale, you're going to get burnt out, and you're not going to progress much more. So that's the number one programming mistake. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know what you think the number two programming mistake is. Thank you very much for watching. Become a member if you can. If you can't, subscribe. If for some reason you can't subscribe, at least leave a moose dropping. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.